Well, guys, if you watch the last tech tip and you're looking behind me right now, you know we were going to try and do some things. What do you think we did? I ain't going to tell you. You got to check it out on this episode of Pugliese Speed Shop. You guys figure it out yet? I mean, we clearly said we were trying to get rid of some stuff. This guy's still there. Giant gap there. Caddy's still there. I don't know. What do you guys think? Did we finally offload something? No, absolutely not. We didn't even try to. We're actually, guys, things are in shambles right now when it comes to like the order of the channel, because we had the caddy in here. We looked at some stuff, still a little bit of research. Kid's kind of dragging his feet on it a little bit, but I think we got that figured out, and we'll let you know on an upcoming episode, right? So that's the last thing you watch. Then we talked about getting rid of a bunch of stuff, and now you see an empty shop. Well, that's because we got the caddy out of here. We're going to bring the Suburban back in. Or did we bring the Suburban back in? I think we might have. I don't know. You'll have to watch the next video because things are still going wrong. All right? I'm going to leave it at that. But there's no way we just got rid of that guy because look at all the Suburban parts still back there, right? What we're doing on this episode is something we have not done in a long time. Used to be, when Kevin lived, right down the road a little bit, we'd take some field trips. And, well, he lives way down the road now. Even he's got a great shop that we need to go check out, but it's not the easiest field trip, right? I've been threatening you guys for a while with a field trip to Nick's. This ain't it. All right. I actually got to talk to him because I do got to go over there. But we're going to Jay's place. You might see it a short or two. Actually, I think we dropped something off there. And, well, it's time to go work on it. And, well, got to hand the reins over to Jay for a minute because he knows way more about this car than I do. And he's just waiting to tell you about it. All right, guys, it might have been a little while since you saw the Merc, but here it is. Things have changed a little bit since last time. We did that short where we first got it running. It was idling, sounded good. You were revving it up a little bit. All right, yo. Took a little break from working on a Suburban because this is just way cooler. And you guys saw a little while back. Wasn't getting running. Now we got it running. Sounds exactly like a 50 Mercury should sound. You see it's on jack stands. There's obviously a reason for that. And Jay did a bunch of stuff in between, little tweaks here and there. I'll let him tell you because I'll screw it up.
So, since we last spoke, she went out for a couple mods in that this car has a perimeter and an X-frame, and the transmission crossmember was welded in. So our only options to remove the C4 that has been upgraded to would be to yank the front end off, well, at least pull all this stuff out of the way, and pull the motor and trans all at once. But we're not doing that because that's a pain in the ass.
The motor has nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with it. I don't feel like doing all that.
Everything's lined nice. There's no reason to.
Yeah, everything's good. I don't feel like doing all that. So I spoke with a good friend of mine, Ben Mendoza. Shout out to him. And he came over here and looked under it, and he's like, we can fix that. So we now have a removable cross member, which Chaz and I are getting ready to play with, and quite excited about, because we should be able to go and yank said transmission out. We'll see if it's quite that easy. We'll do that again.
Right. You have to watch the rest of the video and see if that's how it goes or not. But that's the plan,
In theory.
right?
That's
So-
what's going to happen. So I'm sure once he gets under there, he'll show you what the guy did, and it looks amazing. We weren't tackling that because we don't weld enough, and I did not need my 83-year-old father and my 75-year-old mother to be going down the road and have the drivetrain fall out. I just didn't think that was a good course of action, so I left it to professionals. Money well spent.
It's better to pay for it the first time than pay for the repair later, right?
We can screw the rest of it up.
Right.
I
That's fine.
needed that to be right.
Right.
So, okay.
As long as it's all, structurally sound is what we're looking for.
That was the goal.
All right.
So, more to follow.
Yeah. We'll get under here in a minute. I'll show you guys what's up. And hopefully it's just, how'd it go again?
Pappy said, son,
All
you
right.
drive me to drinking if you don't stop driving that hot rod.
All right. So like Jay was saying, we're under the vehicle. Here's the transmission cross member. Those bolts there are not, factory stock. So you can see what he did is cut here, flange both sides. So with 3/4 inch bolts.
Yep, 3/4 inch plate or a 1/4 inch steel plate.
Yeah. It's and that's about as perfect as you're gonna get. We were talking about it. We had a great idea, and then Jay opted to pay somebody to do it, which is great. So basically, we're engineers. That's how I read that,
Yeah, we just think about stuff
and have other people do it. So pull these 8 bolts out, 4 on each side. Take the mount here off of the mount. What do you call that thing? Donut. Yeah. This thing. Somebody insert word here.
Right.
And then with just bell housing bolts and slap her on down. There's probably a couple of there's probably some shifter linkage and stuff we gotta look at as well. But
That's just a cable.
oh, it is a scale there. Yeah. Well, there you go. So in theory, Jay might be right with the how's that again? There it is. We will find out. All right, update time. We got the drive shaft out, which was not in there for too long, so it was pretty.
Yeah, it's got like 3 miles on it.
That looks it.
And we discovered it was a little too long.
Right.
Because I put it in, and somebody that's way smarter than me, with way more experience than me, said, "Jay, your pinion angle's wrong," and it was down. So once we got the angle shims and got it up where it needed to be, I didn't calculate that was going to make the drive shaft closer. So I now have 3/8 of an inch of yoke play, which, as we all know, is wrong.
It's a little tight.
It's supposed to be an inch. So the gentleman that was kind enough to make this for me is also now retired and is going to be kind enough to shorten it 5/8 of an inch for me and rebalance it. So thank you, Ron. So that'll be hopefully this weekend. Get that knocked out.
Yeah.
And so this is what we found. We learned things. We took the pan off and discovered that there's a little bit of stuff in there, but it's not hateful. And so I'm going to talk
a little bit of shininess, but not a
a
whole lot.
little bit of stuff, but not like chunks of stuff. So we're debating whether to rebuild this whole trans or take the tail shaft off, which is leaking very badly because the old drive shaft was basically made out of fence post or something. I don't know. That's about how bad it was shaking. So we know that wore out the bushing in the tail shaft nicely, and that's why it's leaking so bad. But it didn't slip or anything. If it had proper fluid level in it, it would piss
Well,
out. But
that's key.
if you filled it up and took it for a ride, it was fine. So we're debating whether to pull the tail shaft off, press a new bushing in it, and get that, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Because they like file them and or sand it or whatever, and you get it to where that fits the tolerance correctly. Put a new seal in it, and throw it back on and let it eat, or do we just rebuild the whole thing? Don't know yet. In the interest of time, I'm going to get his professional opinion and decide whether we're yanking the whole trans or not.
Well, we've already found out that professional opinions help.
When you don't know, ask.
Right. So
Yeah. So,
it's one of those things. Like it's almost out. I'll bring you guys under there in a second. So the trans is almost out, and it's like, do we finish yanking it out there and rebuild it when it doesn't need it? Maybe we don't know.
we don't know yet. So at this point, we could throw the trans jack under it and take the amazing new cross member out
It's pretty dope.
This is so dope. Because I was going to try to do this before, but I couldn't get the tail shaft off because the cross member was in the way.
Right.
So at this point, at least I can take those 6 bolts out or whatever, pull the tail shaft off. I can take that, press the new bushing in, which has to happen either way. Get the drive shaft shortened 5/8 of an inch, take it over to my buddy and get that cross-mogenating and tolerances correct and all, put the new seal in it. We can then throw it in here, take it down the road. If it shifts 5 times, and I think I'm going to do a little -4 mod on that pan and put a drain pan in it. So, I mean, if it means changing fluid once a year for the next 5 years, who cares?
Right.
You know what I mean? In the interest of time and $800. So,
Well, I mean, it does come down to that too, right?
yeah, there's, it's all, it's all relative, but mainly time. So, and then we can get that part sorted, take it for a ride, see how it does, and I got to finish the power steering mod too. So we'll be catching you up on that too, because the steering in this thing is horrible.
Well, yeah, you got not a big wheel, but it's a big car.
Yeah, and it's not like
them 50s cars had bus steering wheels in them for a reason.
Yeah, and now we're doing the tilt wheel, but not this one.
Right.
That's going away.
All right, that's a GM one you had in there, huh?
Yeah. Well, it's still going to be a GM style.
Right.
But we're going with a new one. And we've got the part of the way there. Got the pump in. Got that all sorted. As you can see, we got part of the equation here. Just got to get a belt for it and run the hoses down. Yep. And
Looks like you have it
then,
lined up nice.
yeah.
See this angle here.
yep.
Pull this
Unlike
good.
the alternator, which is crooked as all.
You know, she's just leaning. She's kind of gangster.
Yeah, she is gangster. She's got the gangster lean. I didn't do that, by the way. That came with the car. So we'll have to fix that too. But yeah, overall, man, I feel like we're getting there, getting after it.
Definitely doing some things.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got power steering, and that's so is everything plumbed into it and all that. It's just a matter of
No, I just gotta so the all I have is the pump on right now.
Okay.
I have the hoses in the box, but I couldn't take the box out until I got it back from Ben because
Right,
I had to
right.
be upstairs. So, and I didn't want to order the steering column until I got the new box in, just in case it was in a different location where it hooked up, because I didn't want to be this way or that way and have
Right.
to order another, return and order another steering column. So, I figured we'd do that once,
yeah, it's
preferred. So
measure
that's
once,
the,
cut 3 times or something like that.
Something like that.
No,
Yeah.
that can't be right.
That can't be right. So, that's where we're at, guys
So yeah, we're
and gals.
yeah, we don't discriminate around here, man.
No. There's many ladies who work on cars.
Right? So basically, we're waiting to see what the already took the picture of what's there with the filter and the pan and all that. Send that over. Get the opinion there.
Yep. And I'm going to take that tail shaft off either way. Hey, that's my cue. Later.
So we're about to break. So Jay's going to dinner,
Things different.
and well, I'll bring it in here in a minute and show you what's up, and you'll know as much as we do. That guy's running the car. It's a little glary, but you'll be all right. You see, obviously we took the pan off. We got everything disconnected. We got the linkage taken off of the side there. Speedo cable is disconnected, but that doesn't even work anymore. So we also took the Speedo sensor off. That's kind of wedged up in there. We got this bolt, this nut off of here. This is something I didn't even notice until we went to actually pull this apart. He made anchor nuts. So he welded all those nuts in there, which is awesome. I figured that out in the dark when the wrench wouldn't fit over it. But so they come right out. We got all those loosened up, ready to come out of there. Don't want to pull this out until we take some weight off of the trans there by putting, we'll put it back together. That's what we're looking at. But got tail shafts, the drive shaft is out. So we're looking at possibly just dropping these bolts, pulling that off, and going from there. Like I said, depending on the outcome of the professionals about this transmission. Because you see the filter, man, the filter looks good.
Yeah.
Fluid looks good, which makes sense because it's been changed. It's been a rotating change. So,
Yeah, you just keep at it.
but at the same time, like we said, there's not a whole lot in that pan. So, yeah, and it's working right. It's just making a mess. So, we will go from there. And the main reason we kind of paused is these cooling lines over here. We it's kind of funny. Jay has all the metric line wrenches, and I have the standard. So we're at his place, and of course we need the standard. That's kind of how that always works. So we'll grab the half-inch that we got at my house that needed, and we'll go from there if needed. I guess that's so we're standing by to stand by right now. All right, so things were done. We got the seat out of here. That was kind of boring. Didn't think you needed to see that.
Yeah.
Got that hot rod shifter right there. You used to grabbing gears with that thing, huh?
E&M.
That's how you know it's good.
It's going on the shelf.
And this homemade, but not terribly homemade. I've seen worse. It's actually, I mean, not terrible. Let me get a little better light for you guys here. Does that work? So that's what we're working with. Somebody made that to fit the C4 in here, and that shifter. You'll lose a lot of toe board room over here.
It's like sitting in a Cobra.
Right?
Like a proper AC Cobra.
Right. So we're gonna we got all the bolts out for you. We show you what it looks like in here, and we're gonna yank it out. See what it looks like out there. Something was lubricating your floor.
Did you know there was a floor access here too?
You know my Pontiac's got one.
Really?
Yeah.
Was the original master cylinder down there?
Original master cylinder on my car is like right there.
Here?
Yeah, right on the frame. It's on the frame rail right there.
Huh, I'm gonna have to look it up. Maybe
I don't know what's up
maybe
there
that's
on
what
this.
that's for.
It could be where it was on this one. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's a Ford, so it's gonna be weird.
Well, duh. So we're well,
We're
learning
learning
voltage.
things.
We took out the Hobby Lobby felt carpeting stuff and the
And the
Walmart sunshade.
Sunshade shit, whatever it was. And that's
So-
gone. So, yeah, and hey, we got a $10 piece of metal here, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go. They're not giving this away. All right. You see what I'm saying? That felt did hold. You can see the craft glue on the carpet, and it held some moisture in there. So it's really a good thing we did yank it out of there.
Yeah, because I mean, we had some surface stuff starting here, but luckily no holes or anything, so we can clean that up and
Right.
put some protection down. That'd be good before we actually get real carpet. All this
Yeah.
crap's getting thrown away.
Yeah, this doesn't look like legit. It looks better than the other stuff, but
Still not good.
we're getting there. All right, guess we'll bring you guys back when this is no longer in here.
Yeah, and then we'll see what that yields.
All right, so said tunnel thinger is out.
Kind of.
Yeah, well, it's definitely out.
Well, it's definitely out. Yeah. You can see what
Whether or not it's a tunnel still is remain to be seen.
there's small reminders of the original piece.
Yeah. So what it looks like is here in this back piece are
Right.
original.
And then, well, the rest of this is kind of,
Not so much.
you can't be mad at them. I mean,
Yeah.
you could, but
You see this here. You can see they kept the mounting up till right there.
so this is original. So
Right.
the holes will be in the right place, and the rest of it's kind of whatever. And we think it was for the shifter, to be honest.
Right, because there was.
That's what we're leaning towards.
Well, if you look here in the car, there is no need for it to be that high.
Other
Right.
than the shifter.
Other than he wanted that shifter to be where he could just. I mean, you're going down. You running 8-second passes. You got to be able to grab gears. So,
Yep, and that's obviously what it was built for.
this is clearly
Clearly a drag car.
built for speed, no doubt about it. But
Anyway, back at the ranch,
Yeah.
they were going to figure out a more subdued version of that that doesn't stick up 3 feet from the floor. So,
she's tall.
more to follow on that.
Bring you around over here and show you what we. First off, guys, the accessibility. Forget about it. I mean, you can do whatever you want. So those lines right there is what Jay was getting whipped trying to get them from the bottom. and didn't take nothing to get them from the top here. So it's, you know.
I mean, there's a little bit in the way. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah. So you can see this, they did some hacking here. This used to go right there and came down this way. I'd hate to think they cut the floorboards out for the headers, but I wouldn't put it past them. They did a little bit of hacking on the firewall. I don't know why. So that's where we're at right now, because they do make a piece for this exact car to put a C4, C6, whatever in it, and it bolts right in. And instead of doing that,
For 300. Well, that's now.
well, yeah, maybe whenever they did this, it wasn't
That could
available.
have been done in the 90s. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know when it's, you know.
7-year-old car, right?
So now they make that. That would have been nice, but we got pieces missing here. So that's where the dilemma is. We're like, do we make, you know, you could buy that and then match everything up here, maybe. Or do we, yeah, so we're going to see if we can make that work. Chase just took some pictures, sent them to Ben. The guy did this cross member. I bet he would like to have this piece out because, right? So there's that. And so what we were missing, what? We had 4 out of 6 bell housing bolts in there.
Oh, yeah,
So there's that.
Yeah, so it's pudding approved.
Yeah. I mean, like Puddin always says, if, you know, if 4 didn't hold it, 6 never woulda. So I guess we're good. So we're gonna, we basically got it, the weight's sitting on the tranny jack down there. We got 2 bolts in the firewall, which is 50% of what we started out with. The lines are broken loose. We're gonna take those off. So we just gotta what? Do the
Torque converter bolts.
Yep. And then just the stuff we're looking at.
Yeah, stop staring at it. And I guess put a strap over the top of it so it doesn't fall off of the jack.
We got a strap right there.
Because, yeah, got a strap right there.
We're ready.
There's one that came with the jack, but I lost it.
We don't know where that's at. That's fine. It's wherever it is.
It's perfectly happy wherever
It's doing a great job. Yeah.
it's holding something.
All right. So, yeah, it's kind of slow going to give you like a, you know, hands in. This is what we're doing. So we're going to show you along the way. Hopefully the next along the way is, hey, look, the transmission's out. Yeah.
That should be here shortly, I hope.
All right.
Fingers are crossed.
All right. So I told you next time we bring it back, it'd be, hey, she's out. And guess what? I ain't lying, guys. I don't lie. You guys, I try not to. So she's out. It's
Kudos to Ben for his amazing craftsmanship right there. Look at that shit.
yeah, that's
You can see where the cross member is.
guys. Yeah, let me finish dislocating my arm. See here, got the bolts welded on the back, nice. I mean, this thing was just money, and it's directly in the center of the trans, which is where you want it. Like that's a cross member. Got it. It wasn't coming out if Ben didn't make that, and he did a damn good job.
There's no way. Well, because you can see the X. Here's your X frame, ladies and gentlemen. That is the bane of my existence. You can't do anything.
No,
That was the whole reason for that. So
this is an X.
we tucked it back in there, and she came out. That was nice.
Yeah, it was pretty flawless. I'll tell you.
Good stuff.
That's it now. So now the tail shaft right there. That's it's the back part. I'm sure most of you guys know that. That's where the problem is. So
The bushing is worn because the previous drive shaft that came with the car was made of a fence post or something. I don't know what it was made
which
of.
you know
But
what?
at 30
I'm
miles
not
an
mad
hour,
at
it felt like the whole car was going to fly apart. That's all I know. So I was like, just where can I turn around? Just get it on the trailer. I don't want to mess it up anymore. But I think he had driven it enough that he had wallered out that that bushing and the tail shaft pretty well, because you could take the drive shaft and move it around, which you shouldn't be able to move it at all,
No.
And so that's the goal, is going to be to press a new one in there. May have to buy a whole new tail shaft. I don't know, but they're available, so we'll see. I got bushing comes in the morning. I'll probably have to go over to the speed shop where the press is to install that. So that may be another learning opportunity.
Right. We'll stand
And
by.
we'll see how that goes, and then we'll go from there.
That's it. So
Yep.
yeah, transmission's out. So everything that needs to be disassembled is disassembled.
Yep.
So
Yeah, 2 bolts, and that'll pop right off. Once I get the thing, we'll take that off, lay a blanket over, so we get trash in the trans, and press that bushing in. Getting new seals. So while it's out, put a pump seal in it, and obviously the tail shaft seal will get replaced. So hopefully prevent some leaks. And then throw it back in and cross our fingers.
So, and then what? Thursday you picked the drive shaft up, right?
Yeah. It'll be
so
ready Thursday morning. So I got to run back up to Baltimore to get that.
right now we're at where it's halfway.
I'm feeling that way.
Yeah, because putting it back together. Now there's going to be a little bit of figuring in this region here.
Yeah, this region's good. Yeah, still remains to be figured because they didn't have any bolts in the top of that because they cut up above because they pulled that motor back a little further than maybe they should have when they welded in the oh, of course. Why wouldn't the battery die now? Hold on a second. Hold that off. Anyway. Anyways.
Yeah, it's fine.
So yeah, it's fine. But anyway, yeah. So this up here, you can see where they cut because it's all boogered up here on the metal where they sheared it because they brought this motor maybe 2 or 3 inches back further than they should have.
I think so. Yeah.
Because we got 4 inches in front of that fan.
Right.
To the radiator, honestly. So I mean, I feel like that could have been done a little differently, and then we could have just put a slightly longer drive shaft and been good to go. But anywho, it is what it is. So right here is where the yeah, there you go. Right here is where the original one bolted in, and you can see where they cut it here, over here, kind of, and well, that's the dipstick for the transmission. But anyway, they cut it here and all the way up here to make it fit and to make this header fit, which I'm going to wrap that too because you could see where it was really scorching the floor.
Oh yeah.
So
And you say your dad felt a bunch of heat in there and stuff? Oh no, you felt heat over there. Somebody felt heat over there.
well, you could feel the heat coming through because of all the gaps in the firewall.
was a lot of
because
gaps.
they didn't bolt it or seemed like there was nothing making this a firewall.
No.
So we're going to go for a firewall.
Instead it was a hunk of metal.
Yeah, instead of a hunk of metal that's not fastened to anything. Down here was, but all that was just kind of up there, which is crazy. So we're going to do a little better, I think, than what we had.
I think better is good.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys.
Yeah, halfway done and all the way happy.
Yeah, we're absolutely happy.
All right.
We're moving forward. So until next time.
Right? Guys, I absolutely love working on that car. It reminds me of being in California and working on some of the cars we worked out there because there's like no rust. Clearly a 50 Mercury's got California, SoCal written all over it, And I mean, who wouldn't love it, right? It also makes me a little sad because I've got a 50s car that I absolutely love, and she's sitting out here doing this. Kind of getting the itch a little bit, right? To stop messing with some of this newer stuff. Get this girl in the shop and see what's up. I'll tell you what, I am not a Ford guy. You guys know that, but that little panel in the middle, that's a Ford thing. It's awesome because when we put the trans in this, me and my buddy Louie, we welded it in. We made it harder for ourselves if I ever had to take that thing out. So I'm thinking, now I'm watching this, I'm thinking maybe I should, we got a lot of work. That's the least of our problems behind us here, guys, because you see she's not in the best state. But I know people have been talking about working on it. I know Oli said I better get that thing running, and he's not wrong. But we gotta get in the shop and give her a once over first. As usual, though, I'm getting ahead of myself because we still got a bunch of work doing that Merc. Today, right now, actually, Jay is up in Baltimore picking up that drive shaft. Hopefully, he's got everything for the tail shaft, the tail shaft housing to redo all that, seals and everything. So we're pretty much set up. Hopefully, this week coming up, we'll get over there with all the parts, put it back together, and like we said, what's the next thing on that thing? This thing is just steering column. That's the thing. That's next. And finishing up some more. little stuff, guys, but I'm getting ahead of myself again because, like I said in the beginning of this when I was rambling, we are recording another video at the same time because we were trying to get some work done on a Suburban, and well, let's just say things went a little sideways. Not so much with the Suburban, just with me. All right, so I got to get up there to the house and fix up some of that stuff. Of course, it's also car related, and well, tune in next week. You'll see what I'm talking about, and hopefully get a little bit of stuff done around here so we can get the Suburban back in the shop and maybe get all those parts installed one day, send her down the road. Because you know what they say, guys, if you want to have the coolest thing in the parking lot, you better be ready to do some work. Thanks for watching, guys.